1, multiply 2 plus the square root of 2 times 3 plus the square root of 8. This is the exact same problem as example 3. I'm going to do it with the square root of 8 in there. This time with example 3, 8's been changed as 2 square root of 2. So they're the same problem. I want to work it 2 different ways just so you can kind of see. And you can pick and choose what you want to do. My advice would be the example 3 technique is better, getting this simplified down, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So, if you look at the structure of these, 2 plus the square root of 2 is a binomial, 3 plus the square root of 8 is a binomial, neither one of which can be added together in the current form. So it's a binomial times a binomial, which leads me to using FOIL. So first times first is 6. Outside times outside is going to be plus 2 times the square root of 8. Inside times inside is going to be plus 3 times the square root of 2. And last times last is going to be plus the square root of 16. Notice on the black multiplication, 2 is outside the radical, 8 is inside the radical, so you just stick them together. On the green one, 3 outside, 2 inside, you stick them together. On the red one, they're both inside, so I multiplied underneath the radical. 2 times 8 underneath makes it 16. Now, the next thing to do after that, if you're going to FOIL first, is to simplify each radical as much as possible. Take a look at the square root of 8. 8 is the same as 2 times 2 times 2. And there's a 2 in front of it, so I'm going to go ahead and put that 2 in front of it. So this term right here is right here. A pair of 2's inside gets to pull 1, 2 outside. 2 times 2 is 4. So plus 2 times the square root of 8 is equivalent to plus 4 times the square root of 2. If we look at the square root of 16, what does that equal?
Plus or minus 4.
It's going to be plus because it already has a plus sign there. If it was x squared equals 16, then x equals plus or minus 4. But if it's just evaluating a square root, if it already has a sign in front of it, that's the sign it's supposed to be, so it's positive 4. Okay, the other two objects, the green and the blue, can't be made any simpler than they are, right? 6 is as simple as it can be. 3 squared root of 2, I can't make square root of 2 any simpler than that. So 6 stays 6, and 3 squared root of 2 stays 3 squared root of 2. Our final step then is to combine like terms, if there are any. 6 plus 4 is 10. And 4 squared root of 2 and 3 squared root of 2 makes plus 7 times the square root of 2. And you get an answer looking sort of like that. Right? Always, when you deal with radicals, they need to be simplified as much as possible. So if you have a pair of perfect square factors, you can pull that out. If you have a perfect square, you can take the square root of it. You need to make sure you're doing that. Don't leave me an answer looking like this, where the square roots can be simplified into other structures to get a much simpler answer than what we have up here.